I was listening to a podcast with Chris Brennan from the Astrology podcast, I believe it is. And he was interviewing Christopher Warnock, and they're talking about astrological magic. And Chris Brennan asked Christopher Warnock if he has ever heard about not revealing one's birthday information, and Warnock is familiar of this and started talking about how you never want to give your real name in correlation to not wanting to give anyone your birth date, because there's some individuals out there who can use your birth information against you and cast spells upon your chart, which is shocking to me because that's what I was talking about and sharing just months prior with my rendition about Rumpelstiltskin, and how when the individual revealed that they knew the creature's name, they at that point gained the power of the creature. And so by knowing one's birth information, they've gained power of your birth information. So Warnock is an individual who deals with astrological magic. He's been studying it for a long time, several decades, and talks about the Picatrix, which is a book of astrological magic that's several hundreds of years old, which I found to be very interesting also, because the minute he brought up this information, all of a sudden I'm thinking about that creature that is attached to my mother, and how she is definitely a practitioner of astrological magic and just the magic in general. And part of it has to do probably with that thing attached to her. So after learning all this and listening to that podcast, I went to sleep. And later on in the night, I'm sleeping, and all of a sudden I hear my mother's voice screaming in my ear, and I'm again lucid. For whatever reason, I become very lucid when the activity starts. And so the screaming in my ear, and I hear the word fired very loudly in my ear and wakes me up. And so I know it's her trying to play some kind of stupid crap here, but anyway, moving on. The next night, the next day, I'm burning a bunch of incense and stuff to ward off that horrible energy that she brought forth, because it was just bringing on all kinds of terrible stuff around me the next day. So I went ahead and burned some incense, and I was just not sleeping well. It makes things complicated. But anyway, I burned incense, and that the next evening I'm sleeping, and again I start to become very lucid. And then I see Warnock looking at my chart. I had sent him a message asking about talismans, if there's one that can protect from such activity in my life, from that negative thing that's attached to my mom. And he responded back with his suggestion. And so in my sleep, I become very lucid, and I see him looking at my chart, and I know that someone's, working on my chart or actively engaged on my chart, and the my attention goes to the activity to see who is looking at my chart, and I see he's looking at it. So, which I found to be very interesting. So he must have touched on something when looking at my chart, because it brought forth my attention to someone engaged in activity with the chart, and which is very interesting to me too. So it's telling me that the information that I gave him, it seems to be correct, because for over 50 years I did not know my real birthday, and then in just the past year I've been trying to analyze my birth information, and seeing that when transits are crossing certain points on my chart and stuff, I do see things playing out around me. And so now it seems that when individuals are even viewing my chart and analyzing my chart, I'm aware of them, the activity that's occurring with the individual analyzing or even viewing the chart. So this is a new development for me. Anyway, I thought I'd just share. And if you have any messages or want to share anything, please pass me a line. Have a great day. Thank you.